the domestic leagues around Europe and of course the cup competitions come to a close, focus is starting to turn to the international scene. And we've already talked about the Copa America and of course the Euro 2020, but there is another major tournament happening over this coming supper. It's the small matter of the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and in this video we're going to take a little look at the 16 teams that will make the tournament this coming summer. Right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we're going to take a look at the 2021 CONCACAF Gold Cup, but we're going to be talking about the qualification process, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button to get your back into the little things. CONCACAF Gold Cup related, Blackburn Rovers related, whoa, football related, we're going to do all here, under one roof. That's right, of course, a summer full of football still to be had, of course, on this channel with 3 major international tournaments, and of course, I'm not even talking about the Olympics, so we'll talk about that for another day, but today it's all about the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So in this video we're going to take a look at the 12 nations that make up that qualification process and narrow them down to just 3. Of course they will join the already established 13 nations already in the Gold Cup, and then we'll get to that in just a second. A big shout out to the VIPs, they are the Patreons. Thank you for your continued support behind the scenes, I really do appreciate it. And again, if you are interested in joining that Patreon gang, check out the link down below, patreon.com/roverseas. Also, while I have you, before we get into the meat of the matter, that is the qualification process, check out that links down below. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course there is a Discord wide open where we can talk about this and of course much more over the summer and beyond. So let's get into the deep end then, shall we, of course, and talk about the teams that will make up the Gold Cup qualification process. And of course over the next few days we'll take a look at the group stages. We'll take the teams that we have from here and put them into the group stages, of course, and we'll work our way through to eventually making our early door prediction for the Gold Cup winners for 2021. Of course you probably already have your fancies, of course, the familiar favourites of Mexico, United States, Canada will be in there, but I think we might see a bit of a dark horse emerging from this qualification process that will go through deep into the tournament. So there is still a lot to be determined. So let's get into it and take a look at the games that will make up the qualification process, which will take place over a course of 4 days. Just 4 days. 12 teams narrowed down to just 3, and there is in one host city, and that host city is in Fort Lauderdale, out in Florida. Unfortunately, a little bit too far for me to make the trips. I did have a great look at the venues for the Gold Cup. I don't think I'm going to be able to make any of the games, but I would have done. So these are the 12 nations that make up the CONCACAF Gold Cup qualification process, and hopefully at the end of this video we'll boil it down to just 3 nations. Of course they will join the already established 13 clubs, and of course we'll have a fantastic tournament on our hands this coming summer. So let's kick it off then. I'll look at these teams. We're going to go from this to the next round, and then of course we'll showcase you the 3 teams that I believe will join the already established 13. So kick it off with Haiti up against St Vincent Grenadines, of course. Let's take a closer look at this badger, then kick it off. Haiti are managed by Jean-Jacques Pierre, with captain of course Johnny Placide, of course, pulling the strings as El Capitano. They are currently ranked 83rd in the world with a highest ranking of 38th back in January 2003. Their main man, of course, you would say, would be Derek Etienne Jr., currently on the books at Columbus Crew. He's ranked around about £725,000. He plays out of left wing. He's 24 years of age. He's got quite a few decent little players, so I do expect them to be the most superior up against a St Vincent side, who coming into this currently ranked in at, where are they right these days? They're only ranked 167th in the world. They were once ranked as high as 73rd, of course, managed by Kendall Mercury, with Cornelius Stewart pulling the strings as a right winger, 31 years of age. He wears the captain's armband, but the main man for them is Olax Anderson, of course, 25 years of age, plays on the books of Richmond Kickers out in the US National, whatever it is, Mickey Mouse League, not the MLS, but of course they will relying on him to score the goals and of course pull the strings. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll have the quality to get past Haiti. I think they've got too much superiority in this, and I think Haiti will come out of this with a 2-0 win to go through to the next stage, not the final, just the next stage. Kicking on forward though, we have Guatemala. Let's take a look at these badgers then, shall we? Of course, pulling the strings for them these days is Antonio Lopez on the left hand side. He is rated around about £500,000, so he's a decent little player on the books of Mexican outfit Clausura, out in the top flight over there in Mexico. Of course, let's take a look at them themselves, managed by, if I can get over there these days, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not familiar with Guatemalan football or Guyana football, but we'll see. Anyway, the head coach is Arminio Veltario, with the captain, of course, Ricardo Jerez. They're currently ranked 127th in the world. Guatemala, of course, once ranked as high as 50. I think they did make a World Cup quite not too long ago. But again, relying on Antonio Lopez on the left wing to provide the goals for Rubio Rubin, of course, centre forward, also on the books of Real Salt Lake City out in the MLS. Of course, they'll be taking on, who will they be taking on? They'll be taking on Guyana. Let's have a close look at Guyana. Their main man, of course, Terrell Undanan, is placed on the books of the Dutch second division side, NEC Nijmegen. He's a 27-year-old right winger. He could play for the Dutchies, but he's opted to play for Guyana, I think. We'll have to see if he shows up. Hopefully it shows up, because they need the bigger boys. Of course, Guyana ranked 165 in the world right now. Of course, once ranked as high as 86, with the head coach Marco Maximo. Of course, they've got the captain. Who's the captain? I'm not too sure who the captain is. We'll find that out in the summer. Again, I don't think Guyana will have much muscle in this regard. I think Guatemala will oust them 2-1 win in the end as well. Did I say that this CONCACAF stage will take place in one city? It does take place in Fort Lauderdale, and again, these games will be spread over the course of just a few days, from the 2nd of July all the way through to the 6th of July, where we'll find the winners. And again, all games taking place at Fort Lauderdale. Next up, of course, we have Trinidad and Tobago, probably one of the more stronger nations coming into this qualification campaign. Quite surprised that they are at this level, of course. So we'll see if they got the muscle to get through. Got a bit of a sticky wicket to get through this. Currently managed by Terry Fenwick. Do we know who Terry Fenwick is? Used to play for QPR back in the day, maybe Tottenham Hotspur as well. Of course, the most caps, or the captain, is Kaleem Highland. They're currently ranked 103rd in the world. Once ranked as high as 25th in the world, so they'll be hoping to get back to those greater years. Of course, they haven't got the familiar faces of Dwight York no more, but of course they've got Levi Garcia, who is a right winger, plays on the books for AEK Athens at the top flight over in Greece. They've also got Kevin Molino, right winger. They've got Amari Bell, perhaps at the left back. Some other familiar faces. Scrap that Amari Bell. He's actually Jamaican. Bloody Bell. So Trinidad and Tobago come into this with, of course, Levi Garcia pulling the strings on the right-hand side of midfield. He does play on the books at AEK Athens at the top flight over in Greece. They're joined by Kevin Molino as well, plays also on the right-hand side, so they're going to try to adapt their system to get both of those guys in the mix. They've got Jovan Jones as well at left back. He's on the books, of course, into Miami, of course, Beckham's boys these days. They'll be taking on, of course, Montserrat, led by, of course, Lyle Taylor. Didn't really get much game time this season now in the championship for Forest, but he's just got a goal in him. Rowan Hitton also on the books as well. He plays for Maidenhead United, but it's still valued at a cool £360,000. And of course, he'll be there representing Montserrat as well. Speaking of Montserrat, let's take a closer look at their ranking heading into this badger. They're, of course, coming into this managed by William Donachi. Of course, captain is Lyle Taylor, who is he the record goal scorer? He's up there along the rest. J. Lee Hodgson, of course, Bradley Woods Garness. Of course, they're currently ranked 180th in the world. They're going to be there for the taking. 165 ranked was their highest way back on of August 2014. Trinidad and Tobago should have too much muscle for this one. 3-0 win to go through to the next stage. Kicking on further then, we have Cuba taking on, of course, French Guyana. Let's take a look at these now, of course. Cuba, I think, are going to be one of the more powerful nations in this. Of course, currently ranked 181st in the world. The world ranked as high as 46th. Of course, managed by Pablo Elias Sanchez. With, of course, do we have a captain? We do not have a captain. But the main man for them is Ornel Hernandez, currently on the books of course, Norwich City. He's part German, part Cuban, and I think he does represent Cuba these days. Mika Chang also joins them. He's a £540,000 rated right-sided midfield, plays at the books of Royal Salt Lake. And they've got some other muscle-y kind of players that we should expect to see competing into at least the next stage anyway, and maybe even beyond that. They, of course, are taking on, of course, French Guyana. Of course, we'll be pulling the strings. Johan Salma, who's a centre-back currently on the books of course, Troyes, and now in this French second tier. He's currently rated about £1 million. But they've got a good goalkeeper as well. Donovan Leon also playing in the second tier of the French football for Ajax. So he'll be, of course, hoping to keep them in the tournament as long as possible. Again, it's not much of a big turnaround from these qualification matches to the actual tournament itself. We're talking about a couple of days as well. But anyway, French Guyana currently managed by Thierry Deneuve. Of course, the captain is Laurent Rignuit. Of course, their highest ranking. I don't even know if they've got a ranking, to be fair. So, yeah, we'll see how they fare on against this one. They're probably one of the chief whipping boys, to be honest with you. I think Cuba will have the better of them. 2-0 win to take themselves through to the next stage. Of course, kicking on further, we have Guadeloupe taking on, of course, Bahamas. Play each other, I don't know how many times. We're not even going to look at that. We'll look at that maybe at the actual prediction video. So let's take a look at Guadeloupe, of course, managed by Justin Angeloma, with, of course, Stefan Ouvere, with the Capitano these days. Again, I don't know if I have a FIFA ranking for these guys. I don't know if they fall under that jurisdiction just yet. But anyway, their main man is Dimitri Fouquier. He's a £2.7 million right back, plays on the books of Grenada over in La Liga. So he's a decent little player. And they've also got Claudio Benerve, who's a striker. He's part French. He also plays the books of Deportivo La Coruña. And the second tier, I think, maybe even the knockout stage, or maybe even get themselves competing back to getting in the top flight of Spanish football. So he'll be leading the charge for them. They'll be taking on, of course, Bahamas. Now, Bahamas are the chief whipping boys, of course. No, I've only got 2 recognised players, according to my eyes, and they're veterans, so they're going to get their asses handed to them on a plate. Or are they? Of course, they are managed by a familiar name, Nestle Jean, of course, with Captain Leslie de Saint-Fleur. Of course, their favourite ranking is 201. The highest ever ranking was 138, which was back in 2006. It's been a while since they were in the top 100-ish team. So they're going to be there for the taking, I suspect. And I think Guadeloupe will come out on top of the 2-0 win. It might be more than that, maybe a 4 or 5 or maybe even a 6-0 as well. Kicking off further, we do have, of course, Bermuda taking on, of course, Barbados in the Battle of the Bees. Of course, Naki Wells leading the charge for Bermuda with Reggie Lamb also joining him, who's on the books of currently at Stowmarket Town, which is down the lower echelons of the English Football League. So realistically, they're pinning the hopes on Naki Wells, of course, who's coming for a bit of a breakaway from the old championship as well. Managed by, these days, Bermuda, by Carl Lightbourne is the familiar name, formerly of Coventry, I believe, and some other teams. Of course, the top goal scorer was Sean Goto, of course, hung up the boots a long, long time ago. Dante Lavarrock is your main man there. So maybe we'll hope to see Naki Wells. Hopefully he still compete. He's only 30 years age, so I do expect him to provide a bit of firepower for them as they take on Barbados. Now, Barbados are currently managed by Russell Laperty. Of course, that's a familiar name as well. Trinidad, ex-Coventry man, is it? No, I don't know. I'm getting mixed up with the other latter. But anyway, the captain is Russia Jules. Again, it just shows you my knowledge on this one. It is pretty basic, but we're hopefully going to get into it as, of course, the tournament gets closer. They're currently around 162 in the world, highest ranking of 92 themselves. But, of course, they're coming into this, pinning their hopes on Nick Blackman, of course, ex-Rover there, £270,000, of course, playing his football out in Israel these days, Maccabi of Tel Aviv. 31 years of age, still got a goal in them. He's joined by Ryan Trotman as well on the books of Den Bosch out in the Smiter tier of English football, the Dutch football as well. Some other familiar names, Luis Suarez as well, who's now 36, playing in the lower echelons of the English League. To be fair, I think Bermuda might just have the edge. I don't know why. I realistically think Barbados will have it, but I'm going with the home sides on this one, even though they're all played in Fort Lauderdale. So it all boils down to this, folks. I'll leave you with these 6 nations competing for just 3 spots left in the actual tournament, which will take place shortly after this conclusion of these qualifying campaigns. We were left with Haiti up against Bermuda. Also, they're all taking place on the same day, which is, of course, the 6th of July. So by the conclusion of this day, we'll know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, of course. So I'm going to go. I've got no more stats to throw at you. I've got nothing else. I've got no odds. Got no nothing. And again, this is just my gut feeling. Of course, we'll have to wait and see to see if I'm right. But anyway, I do have Haiti taking, of course, Bermuda. Haiti coming through, beating St Vincent and Grenadines, and of course got Bermuda beating Barbados. Bit of a surprise on that one, of course. But anyway, for me, my gut feeling says Haiti will come out on top with this one with the 2-0 win. I think they're just too superior. And to be fair, I don't even know why I went with Bermuda to get at this stage. But ultimately, my gut feeling tells me Haiti will passage through this part of the bracket to go through to the tournament, which will, of course, take place after this. Next up, we have the Battle of the G's, of course. Guatemala coming through by beating Guyana, and Guadeloupe coming through by beating Bahamas, of course. And again, those games take place on the 3rd of July, of course, which will set up this 6th of July final. Again, I'm not going to give you some other stats because I've got nothing else to throw at you just at this stage. But I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Guatemala to oust Guadeloupe to also join Haiti in that actual tournament, which will take place after this. And then finally, probably the most exciting one of these 3 finals is Trinidad Tobago up against Cuba. I think either of these 2 sides could realistically go the distance and get themselves into those actual tournament itself over in the United States. But I've got to stick my neck out on one of them, and I'm going to go with Trinidad Tobago to come out on top with a 3-1 win over Cuba. And of course, I've got a bit of connection with Trinidad Tobago, so I'll be rooting for them boys on, of course, as the tournament gets closer. So those 3 nations are Haiti, Guatemala, and Trinidad Tobago. Joining Qatar, who else do we have? Canada, Honduras, Grenada, Jamaica, United States, Mexico, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Curacao, Martinique, Suriname, Panama will all be there in a very, very glorious tournament this summer. Again, this will be after the Copa America. It will be after the Euros, so all eyes will be on this one as, of course, the new season starts to get closer. Of course, the Olympics are draw nearby, but of course, a very, very exciting tournament to look forward to, and hopefully you guys can join me for that. Also, over the next few days, we'll take those 3 teams, put them in the respective groups, and make our early door predictions for those groups as well, building up to, of course, the quarterfinals or the knockout stages for that. So make sure you come back for those days. They'll follow on from this one So tomorrow, basically, we'll have a look at Group A and we'll predict that and have an outcome as well. But that's it, my boys. Be sure to give the video some love, smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Look, what do you think? Do you think I'm right with those picks? What is your knowledge on these nations? Are you excited to see Trinidad back in the spotlight once again? Of course, joining the likes of Haiti, of course, were quite sticky wickets last round. We did cover the Gold Cup last round on Twitch live, but of course, yeah, looking forward to doing that again. Hopefully, you can join me with that. Make sure you jump in your descriptions with your thoughts and opinions down below. We'll do it all again very, very soon. Until then, see you soon. Smash the thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon as well. If you want a sport channel, best place to do it. You could do it for as less than a bottle of blue Pepsi. Yes, they make blue Pepsi. Also check out the Discord as well. Till then, I'll see you soon for the next. I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully you are too.